because YouTube will not post it. Now, the other reason why the transition has quote waited this long is, let's just say, based on what I say, if it's true, it is essentially the movie that I've made being finalized. It's 17 plus hours long. Understand that the movie expresses the beginnings of this universe 777 billion years ago. Incidentally expresses before that to this point in time now, and to perhaps now 170 years in the future. This includes after the transition. Now, if you're familiar with how many persons are able to precog past this point, the numbers are nearly 0. Think about it. This is for those who have gotten this far and who are looking for specifics and interesting key points. I've made predictions 8 years ago. I said that 2012 is going to happen in 2010. It did. The planetary alignments occurred. Everything I say comes to pass. There's only 2 things that have not come to pass. That's the tens of millions, marching into the U.S., which, to be honest, the world's protesting. It's tens of millions. Now, to be honest, to put it on a more interesting level, though, too, anyone who does not want to live in these limited circumstances, that is a form of protesting. Now, as far as the activism side, that's different, of course, definitely. I'm not going to sit here and try and, be right. I'm not going to sit here and try and, quote, cover my tracks. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I said 2012 would pass, and it did. July 11th passed everyone by. The planetary alignment occurred, and it wasn't in a straight line. It was in a perfect circle. Rebirth, circular. Life, circular. Evolution, circular. Realization, circular. The universe, circular. Orbiting of planets, circular. Spiraling galaxies, circular. The eyes are even circular. The sun is even circular. I mean, if anyone has any doubts about what I say, you have no room, except for the transition itself, which, to be honest, it's occurring, but in a very, very unique way. Because understand that scientists will even say this, most of the universe you cannot see. Do you know why? What you are seeing, your eyes are physical. You're going to only see physical. Now, for those who have a very reactive third eye, fourth eye, hopefully, you're going to see metaphysical at times, but not as consistent as the physical. Purity and honesty expressed. Physical expresses physical. Physical interacts with physical. This is why if you don't breathe, you can't live. It's an evolutional gap. This is why to be physical means to consume the physical. It's literally to be of a living misunderstanding or a living misconception. Again, this story starts 777 billion years ago, and quite a while before that as well. As I've stated, the ultimate math equation of what disturbs is chaos, and that is whom tampered with in this universe. In the beginning, I know that sounds, there is definite irony. It was good. It was. For 7 days. The remnants of that are very scarce. At some point, though, those beings just birthed into the universe, chaos expressing information to them, information overload. the quote Big Bang Theory is actually quite close. All universes do start at a pinpoint location and then rapidly expand. And there usually is a duration of either 7 seconds, 7 hours, or 7 days. It just depends. It just depends. Evolution can either be extremely rapid, or if to be slow means it's compressed volumes, which means to say that slowness is a self-generating evolutional experience. It's as if to say, you're going light year speed, but you're traveling at the pace of walking. Then that's to say, well, what if to be going light year speed? What of the evolution? These are quantification values that no one has in concept. I'm expressing the missing links. I'm expressing to you words and realizations you are going to realize. Now, if based on what I say is also true, the transition is also waiting on me to express this information, to have this documentation, to have these documentations on this YouTube channel, to show and express that a human being, a being from our origins of the ultimate realms. I spent most of my time in the hybrid existence, though. There were more beings there, so and I love large crowds. I love being around a lot of people. I love it. That was my primary reason. Now, I crossed over, and then I walked in. Before I walked in, I traveled around the Earth for a year. You can call it astral plane. I would call it a metaphysical type. Upon researching and understanding Earth, not just Earth, but the beings upon it, I'm going to extend the time of this video one moment. There was 2 primary realizations I had. The beings on this planet are heavily limited, and chances are, upon walking into this planet, I'm going to be heavily limited as well. So 2 acts of preparations were considered and acted upon. Not to limit myself purposely, but to limit the amount of consciousness that would be put into this, this physical vessel, I guess you would say. Basically to be very smart and strategic. But also to be realistic, which was the second primary that I acted on. Because it's physical, it's uncertain on the amount of consciousness put into a physical body as to what would exactly occur. The best example I can give you is, and perhaps you've had this experience, too much information. It's a very radical process. It's a physical process even. So, I lived a lot of my life here as a human. The only time that I technically didn't was when I actually realized my origins, which was not that long ago. I mean, at most it's approaching a year. And I'm 26 and a half right now. Technically 27 and a half. But technically, I'm as old as my beginnings, which in the hybrid existence and all other existences, no one dies. They either die in mind or simply rebirth. What is the point of dying, going through a reincarnation cycle, being taken away from places and paradises to go someplace of randomness or of destiny, either or? There's an uncertainty to that. And to begin with absolutely almost no mind at all, to be empty-minded, and then have to just go through the whole process of relearning and re-realizing. That's not logical. That's not nature. Because this universe was tampered with, I guess you'd say the stakes of realization are detrimental. They really are. This transition itself is going to be a process of almost traumatic deaths revealed. So it's going to be ages and ages and ages of information flow. Your actual self is going to be presented. The persona you are now is going to be